Hopi Kokyangwuti since 1492. Hello guys, this is SOS. So basically, I made a script. Well, I was about to make a script for a stop motion for this year's Halloween special, but unfortunately, I realized, I started this way too late. I'm not gonna have enough time to do this. There's just no way. So I instead turned it into like a little short book that I'm gonna record and read to you guys today because I'm too lazy to do anything else. But I hope you guys enjoy this year's Halloween special. I'm sorry for any, just any mess-ups in this book, because I will probably make a lot. But I hope you guys enjoy this video, and yeah. I'll go on with it. Hopi Kokyangwuti since 1492. The year is 1492. By the way, that's like Christopher Columbus, so that's where this part of the story takes place. And a Spanish explorer is exploring the vast jungles of San Salvador. This was his last mistake. He hears a sound in the bushes, it seems. "What was that?" he shouted. "Show yourself, Indian." Just then, he heard something else. Something that was surprisingly unsettling. It was the sound of tapping. Like a tick, tick, tick. He saw something. Truly terrified him, and that was the very last thing that he ever saw. He was stabbed by something in the shadows, and that was the end of him. 2014. On the island of San Salvador, a man who looks to be in his early 20s, about 21 to 22 years old, wakes up, gets dressed, eats breakfast consisting of a breakfast burrito and orange juice. He then brushes his teeth, takes a shower, and then goes out for a jog. This man was named James. He was smart, he was rather healthy, but really he wasn't a genius, and he wasn't very strong. He was just kind of average, kind of bland, almost. He then goes to school, and when he gets back, he texts his friend. "Hey bro, do you want to go hiking?" "Tyler, Lavender? Sorry, I can't right now. Alright, it's chill. I'm headed out. Have fun, bro. Thanks." Hold on 1 second. Then, Tyler Lavender, James's friend, receives gibberish. And then receives, "Sorry, I slipped down gravel and fell down a chasm, so that's why you received that, I guess." Are you alright?" "Yeah, I'm fine." 4:30 p.m. "I'm coming to help. Where are you?" 7:30. "Never mind, I think I see you." So James looked around, but he could not see his friend. However, he did hear his friend's voice. He looked around for a bit. The chasm was rocky and hard to climb it. It was also very steep. "How am I going to get up there?" James thought. And where's this voice coming from? It's too echoey to locate. After a while, he was able to locate where his friend should be. Climbed the wall of the chasm. He digged his finger into the wall and climbed it the best he could. But in the end, he slipped down to the ground. He then jumped onto the wall and climbed again, slipping a little, but this time he got to the top. He then proceeded to go forward in the direction he had his friend, which sounded about right because that was the direction of his house and the trail, so it would be the most likely direction that he came from. He looked in a cave and took out his broken phone. It's almost dead and has no connection. Dang it! He proceeded into the cave and turned his phone light on. He kneeled on the ground next to a broken watch. That's Tyler's watch. He picked it up and continued walking, examining the many spiderwebs on the wall. He then heard something scurry along the walls. What was that? He then sighed as he saw a small spider on the wall. There's broken glass on the floor. He looked. The watch. Must be from his watch. He then heard a weird ticking sound. Curious, he followed the trail. The cave began to look more and more like a maze. He turned a corner and found marks of dirt on the ground. Footprints, he thought. He then followed the footprints. Then it went dark. The small bit of light from Jim's phone was now gone. He then heard two rocks hitting each other until there was a spark. James had started a fire. James then picked up one of the flaming sticks and used it as a torch. He looked at the wall and saw an old picture of two circles and lines protruding from them. It looked kind of like a weird, misshapen spider. He looked around, and it seemed to be written from the natives. When he looked down, he saw two skeletons, also seemed to be centuries old. He followed the blood and eventually found 5 more skeletons hanging from a white rope. But these were new. James stepped back, horrified. Where's the exit? I can't be stuck here. I can't die here. I gotta find a way out. He ran as fast as he could until he found a wall of rocks. He knelt down and pulled one rock at the bottom out. The entire wall then came down. James stepped to find tons and tons of trees. He looked above him and saw it was pretty late now, probably about 12-ish, but he still couldn't see the moon because the trees were covering it. He walked for about an hour until he found webs everywhere. He then had a sudden realization and then ran as fast as he possibly could. He found something. It looked to be about the size of a person, and it was mummified. James ripped a piece of it off, and it felt sticky, like a web. He found a human wrist underneath, and it had markings from a watch. James held the watch to his wrist and had a sad realization. His friend had been killed by some kind of monster, and that was another thing he realized. He knew what those noises were coming from. He knew why there was blood in the skeletons. He knew what killed his friends. The natives called it the Hopi Kokyangwuti. It meant spider grandmother. And the spider grandmother was a giant creature. A horrible spider. He saw red eyes in the shadows. And he ran as fast as his legs could move him. Behind him was something horrible. He saw brown, hairy legs cut through the trees. James tripped into a grassy field with no trees, but the cloud was covering the moon. He saw the spider's red and black eyes, hairy legs, and horrible, almost rock-like body. The spider lunged at him. He held out his hand. James looked down. It all went black. James opened his eyes and looked down to see that his arm had become hairy and brown, like that of a wolf's. His claws stabbed into the spider, blood all over his arm. He looked up to see the full moon shining. James pulled his arm from this beast, and the spider fell. James now wondered what would become of him now. That's the end. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm really sorry for all the mistakes I made. I'm sorry if I mispronounced Hopi Kokyangwuti or whatever, however it's pronounced. I don't know. I tried. I really did. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. I'm sorry I couldn't do more. I'm sorry. Even a stop motion would be a lot better, and I agree with that. But I hope this was to your satisfaction, and have a happy Halloween. See ya.